At this very moment when your eyes are moving across these words, it is not by accident, it is not coincidence, and it is not random energy pulling you here. This is a divine appointment arranged long before you were aware of it, because the universe, God, the higher power, the infinite intelligence, whatever name you resonate with, has been watching you, silently observing your strength, your pain, your patience, and your unspoken prayers. And today, this message arrives as confirmation that you have not been forgotten, not ignored, and not abandoned. Even when it felt like the silence was unbearable, you are here because something within you is awakening. Something ancient, something powerful, something that has always been part of you but was sleeping under. Layers of fear, doubt, conditioning, and exhaustion. And now that inner force is stirring, reminding you who you truly are, not the broken version shaped by struggle, not the limited identity imposed by circumstances, but the limitless soul created with purpose, intention, and divine intelligence. You have walked through moments where you questioned your worth, your direction, and even your faith. You smiled for the world while silently fighting battles no one knew about. And there were nights when your heart felt heavy with unanswered questions, and mornings when getting up required more courage than anyone could imagine. But understand this: every tear you held back, every time you chose to keep going, despite feeling empty, every moment you did not give up, even when it would have been easier, has been recorded in the fabric of existence. Nothing was wasted, nothing was ignored, and nothing was for nothing, because pressure creates expansion. Darkness reveals light, and silence prepares you to hear the truth more clearly. Now the divine wants you to know that the phase you are entering is not a continuation of the old story. It is a turning point, a rebirth, a moment where what once blocked you will begin to bow before you. What once confused you will start making sense, and what once hurt you will lose its power over your mind and emotions. You are being guided to release the belief that you must struggle endlessly to deserve peace, abundance, love, or success. You were never meant to survive life. You were meant to experience it fully, richly, and freely. And the reason things have felt delayed is not because you are unworthy, but because you were being prepared, strengthened, refined, and aligned with a higher version of yourself that can hold what is coming without fear, arrogance, or self-destruction. Many people ask, why me? Why did I have to go through so much? Why did things fall apart when I tried my best? And the divine answer is always the same: because you were capable, because your soul was strong enough, and because what you are meant to carry in the future requires wisdom, compassion, and resilience that only adversity can build. Understand this clearly: your past does not define your future, but it did design you. It shaped your depth, your intuition, your empathy, and your spiritual awareness, and now those qualities are becoming your greatest assets. The universe is shifting behind the scenes. Doors you thought were permanently closed are being unlocked. Paths you could not see before are slowly revealing themselves, and connections, opportunities, and ideas will begin appearing in ways that feel almost magical. But this magic is simply alignment, meeting, readiness, and timing. You are being asked now to trust even when you cannot see the full picture, to move forward even if your steps feel small, and to speak to yourself with kindness instead of criticism, because the way you talk to yourself sets the frequency for what enters your life. If you keep calling yourself unlucky, broken, or behind, life will echo that belief. But if you begin to affirm even quietly that you are learning, growing, protected, and guided, your reality will start adjusting to match that truth. This divine message comes to remind you that you're not late. You are not slow. And you are not failing. You are unfolding exactly as you should, and everything that is meant for you is already moving toward you, even if you cannot see it. Yet stay present, stay grounded, and stay open, because this is only the beginning of a powerful transformation. And what comes next will require courage, faith, and self-trust, but it will also bring clarity, relief, and a sense of inner peace you have been craving for a long time. And as you continue listening, reading, and absorbing these words, allow yourself to breathe deeply and release the weight you have been carrying, because you do not have to do everything alone anymore. Unseen forces are supporting you, guiding you, and protecting you as you step into the next chapter of your journey, where your intuition becomes stronger, your confidence steadier, and your connection to the divine clearer than ever before. And this is just the first part of the message, meant to awaken you, prepare you, and remind you that your life is far from ordinary, and what is coming will make sense of everything you have endured so far. As this message continues, let something inside you soften, because you have been holding yourself together for so long that you forgot what it feels like to simply allow life to support you. Instead of constantly fighting against it, you were taught to Be strong to endure, to push through, even when your soul was tired. But strength was never meant to feel like constant tension, and survival was never meant to be your permanent state. The divine presence speaking through this message wants you to understand that you are now being invited into a different rhythm of living one, where effort is balanced with surrender, where action is guided by intuition, and where faith replaces fear. Little by little, you may notice subtle shifts within you. Moments where your reactions change, where old triggers lose their grip, and where silence feels safer than noise. These are signs that your consciousness is expanding and your soul is recalibrating to a higher frequency. For a long time, you may have felt like you were giving more than you received, loving more than you were loved, and believing more than circumstances justified. And this imbalance created exhaustion, disappointment, and sometimes resentment. But what you did not realize then is that you were training your heart to become resilient, generous, and deeply aware, qualities that will soon return to you, multiplied in ways you never imagined. The universe does not operate on human impatience. It operates on precision and divine timing, and now the timing is aligning with your readiness, which is why things that once felt stuck will begin to move unexpectedly. Conversations will open doors, clarity will replace confusion, and opportunities will arise when you least expect them, but exactly when you need them most. This next phase is about integration, taking everything you have learned through pain loss, waiting and uncertainty, and allowing it to mature into wisdom rather than wounds. You are being guided to stop questioning your value based on external validation, and to start recognizing the quiet power within you that has carried you through every storm. Without applause, without recognition, and often without support, this power is not loud. It does not demand attention. It simply persists and endures, and now it is being refined into something even more impactful. You may feel a strong urge to let go of people, habits, and environments that no longer resonate with who you are becoming. This is not rejection. It is realignment, not abandonment, but self-respect. And as you release what is heavy, you create space for what is aligned. The divine wants you to remember that abundance is not just money or success. It is peace of mind, emotional safety, meaningful connections, and the freedom to be yourself without shrinking or pretending. And all forms of abundance respond to the same inner state: gratitude, trust, and openness. If you constantly focus on what is missing, you signal lack. But when you begin appreciating what is present, even if it seems small, you activate flow and expansion. This does not mean ignoring challenges. It means not allowing them to define your identity or dictate your future. You are learning now that setbacks are not signs to stop, but signals to adjust and grow. And every delay has been redirecting you towards something more suitable for your soul, even when it did not feel that way. At the time, there is a reason you did not settle. There is a reason certain things did not work out. And there is a reason you're still standing when others gave up. Because your story is meant to inspire, not through perfection, but through authenticity, through truth, and through the courage to keep going. When certainty was absent in the coming days, pay attention to what resonates and what drains you, because your intuition is sharpening and will guide you more clearly than logic ever could trust. The subtle nudges, the quiet knowing, and the inner calm that appears when you are aligned, because these are the languages through which the divine communicates with you. Now, this message is not asking you to change who you are, but to remember who you were before fear taught you to doubt yourself, before pain taught you to guard your heart, and before society taught you to measure your worth by productivity and comparison. You are more than your achievements, more than your struggles, and more than the expectations placed upon you. And as you continue forward, understand that you are being protected even in moments of uncertainty, guided even when answers are not immediate, and supported even when you feel alone. The transformation happening within you is in preparing you for a life that feels more authentic, more abundant, and more peaceful than anything you have known so far. And this journey is far from over. This message will continue to unfold layer by layer, activating deeper awareness, stronger faith, and a renewed sense of purpose within you as you step into what has been quietly waiting for you. As you move deeper into this message, allow yourself to recognize that the restlessness you sometimes feel is not confusion, but a signal that your soul is outgrowing old limitations and outdated versions of reality that once felt safe, but no longer feel true. You are not meant to remain where your spirit feels restricted, and the discomfort you experience is not punishment. It is guidance gently pushing you toward expansion, growth, and alignment with a higher purpose. There was a time when you tried to control outcomes, forcing clarity, forcing certainty, forcing answers, but life kept responding with delays, detours, and silence because you were being taught a deeper lesson, that surrender is not weakness and trust is not blindness. It is strength rooted in wisdom, the divine intelligence guiding. You knows what your conscious mind cannot yet comprehend, and it has been rearranging circumstances, protecting you from paths that would have drained you, and preparing opportunities that match your evolving energy. You may begin to notice that you are less interested in proving yourself and more interested in understanding yourself, less drawn to noise and more attracted to meaning. This is not isolation. It is refinement, not loss, but selection. You are learning to choose depth over drama, peace over chaos, and authenticity over approval. And these choices are elevating your frequency even when it feels lonely at times. Understand that not everyone is meant to go where you are going. Some connections were only meant to accompany you through certain lessons, and releasing them creates space for new alignments that resonate with who you are becoming. The universe responds not to desperation but to clarity, not to force but to alignment, which is why the more you trust yourself and your inner guidance, the more life begins to cooperate effortlessly. You are entering a phase where your intuition will speak louder than fear, and your decisions will feel calmer, even when they are bold. This calm is not hesitation. It is confidence grounded in self-awareness. The divine wants you to stop questioning whether you deserve good things and start accepting that abundance. Peace, love, and fulfillment are your natural state, not rewards you must earn through suffering. The belief that struggle equals worthiness is dissolving and being replaced with the understanding that ease can coexist with growth and joy can exist alongside purpose. You are not betraying your past pain by choosing happiness. You're honoring it by allowing it to transform into wisdom and compassion. The lessons you have lived through have given you the ability to see beyond surface-level appearances, to recognize truth, to sense intention, and to navigate life with discernment rather than fear. This is why you may feel called to inspire, guide, or uplift others, not by preaching or perfection, but by example, by presence, and by authenticity. Your energy speaks even when you are silent, and your journey is quietly influencing more lives than you realize. Trust that the seeds you have planted through kindness, patience, and integrity will bloom at the right time, even if you do not witness the results immediately. Divine timing does not rush, and it does not forget, and what is unfolding now is the result of countless unseen alignments working together on your behalf. You are being asked to remain open even when certainty is incomplete, to stay grounded, even when emotions fluctuate, and to remain faithful to your inner truth. Even when external voices disagree, this is the path of self-mastery and spiritual maturity, where you learn to listen inward rather than seek constant validation outward. As this phase continues, you may experience moments of deep clarity followed by periods of quiet integration. Both are necessary, both are valuable, and both are part of the unfolding process. Do not rush yourself, do not compare your pace to others, and do not doubt the progress that is happening beneath the surface, because transformation does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives gently, reshaping your thoughts, habits, and perceptions, until one day you realize you are no longer who you used to be, and the challenges that once overwhelmed. You no longer hold the same power over your mind. This message comes as reassurance that you are exactly where you need to be, learning what you need to learn and becoming who you need to become. And everything that is meant for you will arrive when you are fully aligned to receive it without fear, resistance, or self-sabotage. This journey is teaching you trust, patience, and self-belief, not as concepts, but as lived experiences. And as you continue forward, know that you are supported, guided, and protected in ways that go beyond what you can see. And this unfolding story is still revealing its purpose layer by layer, moment by moment, and breath by breath. As this message flows further, let it remind you that the quiet determination growing inside you is the clearest sign that your spirit is stabilizing at a higher level of awareness, where fear no longer controls your decisions and urgency no longer clouds your judgment. You are learning to pause before reacting, to listen before responding, and to feel before acting. And this inner balance is reshaping the way life meets you, because when you move from clarity instead of chaos, circumstances reorganize themselves around your steadiness. There were times when uncertainty felt unbearable, when waiting felt like punishment, and when the unknown triggered anxiety rather than curiosity. But now you are beginning to understand that the unknown is not empty. It is fertile. It holds possibilities beyond what your past experiences allow you to imagine, and the divine presence guiding you has been using the space between what you asked for and what arrived to prepare you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, so that when the right opportunities appear, you can recognize them without fear and receive them without self-doubt. You are no longer being trained to chase every option or prove your worth through constant effort. Instead, you are being guided to embody alignment where what is meant for you meets you naturally without force or exhaustion. This does not mean you stop taking action. It means your actions become intentional, grounded, and inspired rather than reactive and draining. You may notice that your standards are rising not from ego, but from self-respect. You are less willing to accept confusion, inconsistency, or disrespect, whether from others or from yourself. This shift is essential because the life you are moving toward requires clear boundaries, emotional maturity, and the courage to choose long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. The divine wants you to recognize that every time you honored your intuition, even when it was uncomfortable, you strengthened your connection to inner truth, and every time you walked away from what felt wrong, even without guarantees, you demonstrated faith in your own guidance system. This faith is now becoming your anchor, allowing you to remain calm even when external conditions fluctuate, because your sense of security is no longer dependent on outcomes but rooted in self-trust. You're beginning to understand that peace is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of inner stability. And this stability gives you the freedom to engage with life fully without losing yourself in it. Abundance in this phase will come not just as material gain, but as clarity, emotional fulfillment, meaningful exchanges, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment you will find. Yourself enjoying simplicity more than excess depth, more than noise and truth, more than appearances, and these preferences are signs that your consciousness is refining itself to match a more authentic way of living. The universe responds to authenticity by opening doors that cannot be forced open through effort alone, and as you align with who you truly are, you will attract experiences that reflect that truth back to you. Opportunities that feel supportive, connections that feel safe, and paths that feel purposeful rather than draining. This message encourages you to continue trusting the process, even when progress feels subtle, because subtle shifts often lead to the most profound transformations. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. Small intentional choices repeated daily shape destinies more reliably than dramatic but temporary changes. And every time you choose patience over panic, honesty over avoidance, and courage over comfort, you are actively rewriting the patterns of your life. The divine intelligence supporting you does not require perfection, only sincerity, presence, and willingness to grow. And as you move forward, remember that setbacks are not regressions. They are recalibrations guiding you back to alignment. When distractions pull you away, stay gentle with yourself during moments of doubt, because growth is not linear, and compassion for yourself is essential to sustaining long-term transformation. You are not meant to rush this journey or compare it to anyone else, because your path is uniquely designed to awaken your strengths, refine your character, and align you with a life that feels true rather than merely impressive. This unfolding chapter is teaching you to trust your pace, honor your intuition, and remain open to guidance even when answers arrive gradually. And as you continue listening to this message, allow its rhythm to settle into your awareness, reminding you that you are supported beyond what you can see, guided beyond what you can predict, and protected beyond what you can control. And this reassurance is not temporary. It is a foundation upon which the next phase of your life is quietly being built.